What's up, beautiful people? I hope you are well. This is your maths coach. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we begin today's lesson, I have a favor to ask you. To help this channel grow, please subscribe and press that bell icon. Also, please share with your friends and your family and your neighbors, anybody that may benefit from the content on this channel. Okay, so we move on to our third example. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, but my teacher taught me in a different way, that's okay. Okay, if you have a method that you can rely on and you are coming out with the correct factorization, no problem. Okay, my aim here is to give you a method where you had no method before. Okay, and most of you may be using the AC method anyway. Okay, right, so moving on to this one, maybe pause the video, try it yourself, and then come back. Right, so what are our values of A and C here? So our value of A is 1, our value of C is minus 15. Okay, I've deliberately chosen this so that in the last two examples I had positives. I want a negative example here, just to test you a little bit. Right, so 1 times minus 15 is written down here. So I want to look for the factors of minus 15. So we've got 1 and 15, we've got 3 and 5. Now, if we look back at our sign here, we want to have a positive value and a negative. They both can't be positive and they both can't be negative. One of them has got to be a positive and one of them got to be a negative. And we are trying to make minus 2. We want to make minus 2. So 1 and 15, completely off the rail. We're not going to use that at all. We are going to focus on this one. Now, which one's a positive, which one's a negative? That's what we have to decide. So if you look at this one, if we have a positive 3 and we take away with a minus 5, then 3 minus 5 gives us minus 2. So it has to be in that order. See, if we had plus 5 and minus 3, then that won't work because 5 minus 3 gives us a positive 2. So it has to be in this order. Okay, we have to have a plus 3 and a minus 5. Right, moving on to this one here. So we're going to write down x squared and we're going to write down minus 15. And here we're going to do plus 3x and minus 5x because they make minus 2. Also, you can swap them around. It doesn't matter. So if you decide, you know what, you wrote down minus 5x and plus 3x, that's also okay. In fact, sometimes it can actually be beneficial, but it doesn't matter, okay, whether you do it or not, okay? We just focus on what we are doing here. Right, so we are going to split this up. Remember, once again, leaving that sign, whatever it is, whether it's a plus, whether it's a negative, leave it out. And we are going to expand, we are going to factorize these expressions separately. So look at the first one, what's common between that? So it's x, 1x here, plus 3. So x times x is x squared, x times 3 is plus 3x. Next, we're going to pull the sign down here. We're just going to write this down. 5 and 15, common number is 5. Okay, and x is only for one of them, so it's not for the other one, and we can't take it outside. So we're going to have an x in here. So minus 5 times x is minus 5x. And then minus 5 times by something here to give us minus 15. Now, remember earlier on, I was saying to you that don't worry about this sign here. Just focus on what multiplies with a minus here to give you a minus. It has to be a plus. So minus 5 times by what? Times by 3. So minus 5 times by 3 is minus 15. Once again, look at that. Okay? They are both the same. And that tells us that we've been doing this correctly. So all that's left is 2 empty brackets. In one bracket, we'll write x plus 3 from here. And in the other bracket, we'll write x minus 5 from what's left outside. And that has now been factorized. We've done 3 examples so far where we've had x squared, the coefficient of x squared, as 1. Let's see what happens when we have a value other than 1 in here. Okay, higher than 1. So we've got 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. So our a value here is 2 and our c value here is 1. So 2 times 1 is a positive 2. That's our AC. The factors of 2 are only 1 and 2, and they also need to make minus 3 and therefore, because it's a positive, when they multiply, remember, when they multiply, they have to make positive, which they do, okay, minus and a minus, and when they're added, they have to make minus 3x. So minus 1 and minus 2 is what we are going to take forward. Next, we're going to add these as we did as before, and we put them along here with a x. Now, we have minus 1x, and we won't write the 1, we don't need to write that one, but if you want to write a 1 here, it's not a problem, and minus 2x for that one. And here, we split them up and we factorize them individually. So 2x squared minus x. So what are the common factors here? So we have x, and then in the bracket here we'll have 2x. So therefore x times by 2x is 2x squared. And then we have a minus here. So we want to have 1x. So when we multiply out, x times by what? We put a 1 here, because x times by 1 will give us 1x, and we want minus 1x. This will drop down here, so there's a minus here. So between 2 and 1, the common number here is 1. And in this case, we will need to write the 1 because there's nothing else that's going to come out of that bracket. So we have a 1 here, 1 times something to give us 2x. So it will be 2 and x inside the bracket here. And we want to have a positive 1 here. So we want minus times a minus to give us the positive 1. And we'll put the 1 here. So minus 1 times by minus 1 is plus 1. Once again, like before, these two brackets will be the same if you've done this correctly. And they are. So our first bracket will be 2x minus 1. And our second bracket will be what's left over outside of these two brackets, which is x minus 1, and this has been now factorized from our question. Okay, so on to our next question now. We have 3x squared minus 16x plus 5. So let's write down our a value here, which is 3, our c value, which is 5, and 3 times by 5 gives us 15, positive 15, okay, and we are looking for the factors of 15 now, so 1 and 15, 3 and 5, and there's nothing else. Now, what are we looking for? We want to add to make minus 16. There's no way that these are going to add to give you minus 16, so this is completely out of it, which leaves us with those two. Now, what are the signs going to be? When we multiply, we want to have a positive 15, and when we add them, we want to have a negative 16. So both of them can be negative, because a negative times a negative is positive, and minus 1x minus 15x will give us minus 16x. So we bring these down as before. So we have 3x squared and plus 5, and these minus 1x and minus 15x will be written down here, and we can swap them around if we wanted to. So far I've been using the first one and the second one, but this time around, just to show you that you can swap them around, I will write the minus 15x and minus 1x next to that. Just put that here, so it just gives it a bit more volume here. Okay. So, next I'm going to separate them like this. So, what's common between 3 and 15? The number 3. X squared here, x here, so we take out 1x. And now we can have the things inside our bracket. So, 3x times by something to give us 3x squared. We just need an x to give us the 3x squared. Negative sign here, so 3 times 5 will give us our 15, and 3x times minus 5x will give us in total minus 15x. The minus will be brought down here. Now here we have x plus 5, and if I just write down an empty bracket, so once again we will need to put down a 1 here, okay, because 1 times by something to give us an x, so we'll put that x in here. And then minus 1 times by another minus to give us the positive value here. So minus 1 times by minus 5. and minus 1 times minus 5 is plus 5. And again, look here, you will notice that these two brackets are the same. So that now leaves us with just putting it inside our double bracket. So 3x minus 1 and x minus 5. So this time around, I've written 3x minus 1 in the first bracket and x minus 5 in the second bracket. Like I said, it doesn't matter, but it looks better like this when the bigger bracket is at the front. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please share with your friends and family if you found this beneficial. And please help the channel to grow. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.